Hello, YouTubers out there. This is Jerry Saravia at the movies. So, lately, quite a few people from Hollywood have been passing away. Catherine O'Hara recently, uh, James Van Der Beek. Robert Duvall, though, kind of, it's, again, this is kind of, I would just be reiterating what I said over a year ago when we lost David Lynch, one of the great directors of all time. Certainly one of the more unusual film directors of all time, not easily comparable to anybody. So, but Robert Duvall is just, he was 95 years old, and he lived a long life. There's no question about it. But it's odd to start losing people that you grew up with, and that's the thing for me. Um, just to give a little context, once again, I'm going to be turning 55 this year. And in 1979 was really the first time I noticed Robert Duvall. Now, in those days, I really didn't know actors by their names, but I saw The Great Santini, which I think was really the first major Robert Duvall film that I think I saw, other than Apocalypse Now, but he doesn't have a major part in that. Great Santini is Robert Duvall 110% all the way. But the thing that I remember when I first saw that film was his complete authority. This was a guy, he was a life force. He was on the screen, he had a certain kind of energy that he gave off that you wish more actors, especially nowadays, would give. I mean, he had it. There's no single Robert Duvall performance that I've ever seen, particularly since The Great Santini, that I ever felt he wasn't in his element and giving 110%. And I've seen Robert Duvall in many films, of course, but I gotta say, I was going to talk about it was an episode from Twilight Zone that he did that was a lost episode and kind of resurfaced back in the late 1980s. And it was one of those Twilight Zone episodes that I watched repeatedly. And Robert Duvall had the lead part. He worked at an office. He was indifferent to his job. He's indifferent to his family. He doesn't sure he wants to go out with anybody. I mean, my God, those things speak volumes to me. And Robert Duvall delivered. But since some others have discussed that one, the one I want to talk about is his role as Max Mercy, the baseball reporter slash journalist. I mean, he kind of knows everything about everybody when it comes to the New York Knights, the fictional New York Knights baseball team in the film The Natural, directed by Barry Levinson, starring Robert Redford, who we also lost not too long ago. I mean, it's crazy that these people are just disappearing left and right. But as Max Mercy, that was one role that, again, it's not a huge role, but Max Mercy is always there in the background and sometimes in the foreground throughout that entire movie. He's always there. His presence is felt. He's instrumental to Roy Hobbs' possible decline, or a probable decline in the film, if you've seen it, where, as clearly one of the great baseball players of all time, something from the past has been dug up that could ruin him. Sound familiar? That kind of thing happens a lot nowadays. But Max Mercy is the one that could ruin him, Roy Hobbs. So, but his performance is electrifying. Robert Duvall is electrifying every scene he's in, whether it's with Glenn Close or Robert Redford, and several other actors, in the picture. Joe Don Baker, who we also lost not long ago, playing a sort of a Babe Ruth type, the Whammer, But Robert Duvall's Max Mercy, that's the one that I always think of quite often. That, and also, I would probably have to say it's a film I need to revisit soon, The Apostle, which he directed. He's also known for having directed certain films. Angela, My Love, I believe, was his directorial debut. Duvall did it all. But as Max Mercy, that's the one that, for some reason, is the one I think of the most, and his role in Twilight Zone. One other note, Dennis Hopper, when he was interviewed on the Actors Studio way back in the 90s, late 90s, he had directed Robert Duvall in the film Colors, which also starred Sean Penn. And Robert Duvall plays a cop. So they were shooting a scene. This is how Dennis Hopper talked about it. And he's directing. He's supposed to be angry, Robert Duvall, and he just wasn't angry enough. According to Dennis Hopper, he just felt he wasn't playing the scene. So he talked to Duvall and he said, "Listen, I don't think you're playing the scene." And Duvall says, "Check the dailies." Sure enough, he checked the dailies and it was there, but it was very subtle. And Robert Duvall he was very nuanced, very subtle, and he just delivered. I mean, especially Network by Sidney Lumet. Anyway, you could go through a whole bunch of films he's done, which is, I mean, an incredible amount of films, going as far back as To Kill a Mockingbird. I mean, it's an amazing career, a truly amazing career. One of the strongest, most versatile actors ever. I mean, this guy he had it. It wasn't a movie star charisma, which he, really never became a movie star, Robert Duvall. But he's one of the great character actors. And you just feel that in any film he was in, that he was there. You just felt it. He was part of the film. You never felt that his performance took him out of his, out of his element, so to speak. In other words, whatever role he played, you couldn't imagine anybody else, but you also believed him as that character, no matter what it was. And that is a special gift. So, rest in peace, Robert Duvall, and just hard to believe this guy's gone. I mean, I don't know. I can't believe he was even 95. I knew he was in his 90s, but I didn't know he was 95. And having lost a few months ago, Gene Hackman, I mean, we're just, losing the great actors of all time, the ones that young people today should study. Especially if they're interested in acting. You have to watch Robert Duvall, Gene Hackman, Robert Redford, certainly he's still around, Robert De Niro. I mean, these actors they transmitted, but they still are, because their films still exist, but they were genuine life force. They were a genuine life force on the screen. And it was unshakable. You never felt bored by anything that they ever did in any film, no matter what it was. And that, to me, is a special gift. So, there you have it. What are your thoughts on Robert Duvall? What are some of your favorite performances by Robert Duvall? Please let me your thoughts. Tell me what you think. And if you're new to this channel, please hit like and subscribe, and that helps with the algorithms. And if you already are a subscriber, thank you. And I hope to do more videos soon. That's all I got to say about Robert Duvall. And this is Jerry Saravia at the Movies, signing off.